So, I got my Mac back.
The delay is way down.
Really? Hold on. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live now.
Okay. No, I was reading the URL.
So you just said you got your Mac back.
.show.
Is it live? Yep. I was meaning the URL.
I'm live.
You just said you got your Mac back.
Dope Alien is my name. I thought these were like all like themed names. Anyways.
Yeah, like the lag is like way down. See? Well, at least for me, because you just said thought these were all theme names.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's a bit delayed, but I'm going to reload the page and see, because it was just saying, you just said you got your Mac back, and then I'll hit PLA, play video. Yep. Yeah, it's down to about 25 seconds. Not even that. It's like
maybe
12
to 15.
1,
what I was thinking.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You got the 10 before you said 1.
Yeah, and I got to 12 for me. That's not bad. That's pretty damn good, sir. And you don't even know what you did. Oh,
I didn't do anything.
I think
I rebooted the server.
Well, that probably helped, but also I think it depends on when you load the page versus when you hit the play button.
Ah, okay. That could have something to do with it, because when I loaded the page, I thought it was going to start playing automatically, because of course I forgot how my own thing works. And then maybe
I
got to hit play.
Figure out a way to make it play automatically though too. That would be kind of interesting. I'm torn on autoplay. I'm torn on autoplay.
Yeah, because depending on people's volume settings, then like you can't hear.
Yeah.
The thing. Most of the people that I know, when I used to pay attention to live streams for podcasts, you're using like Shoutcast or something with some web player or whatever. You have to hit play.
We should see if we can set up keystrokes though. So when you get to the page, you can hit K to start playing.
Let's see if I can reopen that tab, because that actually should work.
I don't think it does. I think I tried it. So yeah, got my Mac back. Seems to be working fine. Oh, no, I just kept typing K's in the chat field.
Yeah, because it drops you the chat field right away. So yeah, you just type in a whole bunch of K.
Even if I shift tab to the notify button and hit K, I have to shift tab to the play video button. So anyways, seems to be working fine. However, as I've told people multiple times, I cannot believe that I used to reset my Mac for fun. Like, I got nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon. Let's reset my
Just
computer.
wipe the Mac. Yeah. See, that shit got old for me before it did for you. Because you've done it several times. And like, I think the only time I reset a Mac is when I think I really screwed it up with the Air. I don't remember what I installed, but it started acting really funky. And then I determined that it was just Mac OS being weird. And then I had to set this MacBook Pro up, which listeners who've been listening since, when did I get this? Like end of December?
Yeah, I had to have been.
Holidays.
Maybe
yeah, I don't think,
but
I don't, I didn't set it up until like January.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I had it before that, but because I really didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I can't copy everything over because that doesn't make sense. Also, they're on 2 different operating systems, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it took a while. And honestly, there's still stuff that's not installed. Like you mentioned Text Expander when you were going through your brew install. And I was like, oh crap, I never reinstalled Text Expander. It also still feels broken, just to be fair. Like I haven't been getting along fine without Text Expander. I just haven't installed it because I don't want to go through the whole, I got to sign in and then reset my shortcuts and blah. On some good news, apparently in macOS 26, you will be able to, when transferring to a new Mac, I don't know if this will also work as a part of a backup yet, but I did hear that when transferring to a new Mac, your permissions will transfer.
Ooh.
You won't have to go through and do all the allow Audio Hijack to use the microphone, and allow Audio Hijack to record system audio. And give Zoom access to the microphone, otherwise it doesn't work. Yes, please give terminal full disk access because otherwise I can't CD into different directories all over the disk. Otherwise I CD to documents. And it's like, terminal would like to access your documents folder. No crap, man.
That's what I
yeah,
just
that'll be nice.
Yeah. Did you know Homebrew has a DMG now? I don't know what it does because it tells you have to have Xcode tools installed in order to run it. Because I was like, oh, let me try running this DMG file and see what it does. So then I just went and did the Homebrew install process. And guess what? That installed Xtools for me. So, or Xtool developer,
Xcode, Xcode. What is that? Xcode developer command line or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, and the command for installing that manually, if it doesn't get installed, is so weird, and most of the time has failed for me. But no, I did not know they had a DMG. So Homebrew to the rescue. So everybody wants to know, Mike, what did you install so far? Because I'm pretty sure there are things you're gonna install eventually that you didn't install. But what did you have to install to, as quickly as possible, get back up and running on a production machine?
And it's not a DMG, it's a PKG for home.
Okay.
So my brew install that I went through is Audio Hijack, makes sense. Farrago, makes sense. Loopback, Sound Source. Okay. Google Chrome was next on that list. Reaper, Dropbox. And then as I was thinking about things, I'm like, I need to be able to authorize Audio Hijack, Loopback, Sound Source, and Farrago. So I installed 1Password, Zoom, Text Expander, Google Drive, Local, Slack, Keyboard Maestro, Raycast, because ChatGPT suggested that might be an app that I might want to install, Visual Studio Code at Insiders, because I want to be on the Insider build for that. Little Snitch, because, again, ChatGPT recommended that app, and I know Damashe has used it or uses it. Hazel, FFmpeg, Bunch, because Damashe mentioned it, and I'm like, maybe I should install that. Discord, and then multi-markdown, and I think there's another part of the multi-markdown I need to install.
Yeah, so multi-markdown gets you a binary that, kind of like having PHP or what's another command line tool that you could install. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. But that lets you be able to FFmpeg is another example of similar. So you're installing the base library for everything. So now you can use FFmpeg. So let's say, for example, if you were to install Permute, which is a media file conversion tool, it comes with FFmpeg bundled, I believe. But you could always point it to your own installation of FFmpeg, which is something you may want to do if, let's say, you've done some tweaks to it, or if you somehow dig through their package and figure out maybe that their version of FFmpeg is out of date from your version. I don't know. But that's the same thing with multi-markdown tools. Multi-markdown. It gives you the ability to, like, you can run some commands and convert files into terminal, kind of like you would with Pandoc. Like, here's a markdown file, make it RTF or something. I don't know. Multi-markdown service tools are the services, and you can go download them individually from Brett's site. I don't use all of them, but it's easier because the list is longer for what I would actually use versus what I don't, that I just install all of them. And that puts those in your services menu, and you can set custom keyboard shortcuts. And that's what I use, for example, as people heard in episode, was it 113?
Yes.
Where I typed the email in Markdown and then selected it and hit Command R to convert that to rich text. That was multi-markdown service tools that allowed me to do that. But it does, as far as I remember, require multi-markdown to be installed by you. I don't think it bundles that in, unless Brew does something weird to install it if you don't have it. But I don't think it does.
Is it called it's not multi-markdown checkmark, because I'm trying to do a search for multi-markdown service tools, and it's not finding it.
Put hyphens.
Okay, I will try that.
Yeah, multi-markdown.
Bruce?
Nope. I'm telling you wrong. It's Markdown Service Tools. Take the but there are hyphens.
Dash service. Dash tools. There you go. Casks Markdown Service Tools. Okay. So I'm going to go get this because I don't think I have ever installed this before. Well, no, I think I did, but I went to his website and downloaded them, and I got overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know what to get here, and never did it through Homebrew. So brew, install, Markdown Service. Oh, and the first app I installed on the Mac. Any guesses on what it is?
So you installed something separate from your brew. So let me think about that for a second. What would that have been? You didn't, but you had brew, you had parallels in your brew that you texted me. So
that did not work. So I ended up having to take parallels out. So I need to go to their website and find it. It kept throwing some CHOwn errors and didn't finish the install. So I was going to do some further research into that, but it was not related to parallels.
Oh, so hold on. This could have been a Mac app.
Yes.
A Mac Store app.
Yep.
So this means it probably was drafts.
Yes, sir. It sure was.
Because
I needed somewhere to write my brew file thing on.
Yeah, I had to think about. So I usually install mass. So here's a tip for you, and I think I'm going to record some. Probably not this week, but before I leave to go to New Orleans,
if you're a tip jar subscriber,
you'll get it early.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll have to wait for. Oh wait, you won't have to wait for Mike to release it over there because he doesn't do that show anymore. You'll get it at some point later. At any rate, so I typically there's a couple of different ways to do this, and I don't remember the steps specifically right now. Like I actually always have to go look them up. And I've done this several different ways over the years. There's a native a native command in Brew to dump your Brew file. And what that does is dump everything that you have installed via Homebrew. So it gives you your formula, which are kind of like the command line tools like FFmpeg and Python and PHP. It gives you your cask, which are going to be your app, your actual installable applications, 1Password, audio hijack, etc. It also gives you things that you've tapped. So like if you tapped into the Stripe CLI, so you can install the Stripe command line tool, it'll show you those. And if you install mass, so brew install mass, I think is how you get that. It'll show you that. But what it does that's super handy is it'll also, with the brew dump of your file, it'll give you the IDs along with the names of all of your Mac Store apps that you've installed, even if you didn't actually start out by installing them using mass. So when you come back around to set up your computer again or go to a new computer, again, there is a command that I don't remember top of my head, but you can run brew basically and have it loop through your brew file and just install everything that's there.
That is handy. When I was talking to ChatGPT, because I'm like, what are some cool tools that you think I should recommend? And that's how I found Raycast, which I forgot about that app. I don't have LaunchBar installed yet. I probably will install it, but I figured, because Raycast is a replacement for LaunchBar, or is it totally different? Do you know?
It's similar. It's kind of like Alfred. It's like a newer version of, a modern day take on Alfred and LaunchBar, etc. I tried it out briefly. Yeah, play with it because I tried it out a couple of years ago when it first came out. Of course, I'm using LaunchBar, so it tells you it didn't stick.
Yeah.
But it may have gotten different, right? But it's similar to, like I've tried Alfred a couple of times over the years. I have not tried it recently because it just didn't stick for me. There's something weird about the navigation with Alfred that I couldn't quite get comfortable with.
VoiceOver doesn't read it as consistently as it does in LaunchBar.
Yeah.
Because when you're down airing, you get that doo-doo sound that you get, like when there's an alert. And often VoiceOver doesn't read the names. So you have to go up and then back down, is what I have observed in some audio recordings. So I'm going to try Raycast out, see what I think of it. And I'll report back and let people know if I end up using LaunchBar and getting that. You can brew install LaunchBar, but I figured Raycast would be a good thing to try out on this new install. My headphone jack seems to be repaired. They completely replaced all of the innards of my MacBook, so I shouldn't have any issues with it.
Cool.
So that saga is knock on wood, concluded. Oh, that means if I, yeah, you have to do this audio because I just remembered that I need to go install Mona on the Mac, and that's in the App Store. And I'll probably install Mass and do Mass search Mona, and then grab the ID and then Mass install.
Which is
I think it is.
Yep, Mass install and then paste the ID, which is super annoying because you type in a specific name of an app. Like let's use an app that there's not really a whole lot of other options for. Like I don't know, 1Password for example, right? If you were going to install that from the Mac App Store, you're still going to end up with a list of probably like 15 apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's super annoying, which is, the other thing about the brew file thing. So, and I will do this audio and I'll show the different ways to set up these two different options. One is just a native brew thing. You just dump the file. There's another tool I used at some point and I can't remember if that was in Homebrew or if I had to go out and get it. It really didn't do anything different other than it gave me like a JSON file. But the main two things is the built-in feature of Homebrew will dump all of that for you. The other thing that's cool, you have to tap into this guy's repository. I have to see if it's still live. But it will store, you set a directory and it will store your brew file in basically turn it into a Git repo. So every time you install or uninstall something, you can change this. But every time you install or uninstall something, it'll update and make a commit to that Git repo and, optionally automatically push that to a GitHub repository. I haven't gone back to using that more recently because I realized a couple of things. After 1Password 8 kind of got decent and usable. Number one, while I do have my SSH keys somewhere locally, like I can get to them, they're in 1Password now because it kind of hooks into the terminal. So when I want to SSH somewhere, it pops up and it's like, oh, you want to use this key? And then I put my fingerprint on there and it's like, yeah, you're authenticated. Well, that also is how I do Git. So it's not going to work unless I got 1Password, which means I got to install Brew, which means, just grab the file, man. Put it on an external drive before you wipe or transfer and then drop it back in. And the cool thing about that too is you can go through that list because it's just a straight up and down text file list. And you can edit out things you don't want there. So let's say you're like, that Raycast is okay, but I don't, it stayed around on my computer even though I didn't keep using it. So let's delete that. I don't need to install that this time or whatever the case may be.
So since I'm, maybe that's why people like our shows because we actually do talk about tech. Just saying, because I'm about to pick your brain about tech.
Oh, shots fired at Double Tap. No, I'm kidding.
You guys know how to reach out to me on WhatsApp.
I got it set up for Rocco because, man, that would have been so perfect. I just needed and then Steven hollered, oh, my God.
Right. It's technically we're working.
It would have been an audio recording of him just screaming about some KFC chicken. But it would have been so perfect.
Oh, man. Oh, I got to tell you this joke. People may or may not like it. Speaking of KFC, Benjamin put an application to work at KFC. And I made the comment here. I go, yeah, you'll come home and you'll smell like grease. You'll smell like KFC grease. Nicholas is like, yeah, you better be careful because we might want to just lick the KFC grease off you. I'm like, okay, now you made it weird there, sir.
Yeah, kid, you took it a little too far.
So when I go do, so I wrote a quick email in Markdown. If I do VO Shift M and I go over to services and then I go down to where it says MD-convert multi-markdown to RTF and I hit enter, it tells me that this action requires multi-markdown to be installed. And then there's a button that says open download page. However, when I go to Brew and I type in
hold on, Tip. I know
Brew install Markdown or multi-markdown.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you how to fix that.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to make for some really good podcasting, but this is how you troubleshoot stuff. We know that he has it installed. I run into the same problem. Mm-hmm. Blame this kind of on Mac OS because Homebrew does not install stuff anymore into the /usr/local/bin directory. And that's where the services are looking for the binary to be. Mm-hmm. So here's how you fix that though. In the terminal, you're going to type ln space -s space /opt/homebrew. This is where autocomplete is really your friend, or tab completion is really your friend. Hold on, I gotta actually type it in now. /op homebrew. I think it's just bin after that. Yep. So homebrew /bin /multi markdown.
Okay.
All right, and then type space.
Yep.
And then /usr/local /bin. And I'm going to tell you on the end.
Pull that. Say that again. Your internet was cutting out.
On the end.
Yeah, I lost you.
Hold
on, I'm going to move my laptop over. Maybe it's my internet. You were saying do something on the end.
Oh, nope, it's me.
I'm back.
Now
Or
Zoom
you're back.
tells me.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, Zoom tells you when you're back.
That's super helpful, Zoom. Super helpful. So the live thing may have just broken. I got to get an Ethernet cable run out here. Like, this is getting irritating.
I'll check the live stream in a second.
/usr/local/bin/ and then hit return.
It says no such file or directory.
Okay, let me make sure I didn't tell you to write something wrong. Hold on.
And is it different from me because I'm using ZSH?
No, shouldn't be.
Okay.
LN is just, I don't.
Well, I didn't know if
I think LN still links in ZSH.
It should. Well, it would have given me a different error, I think. It says ln/usr/local/bin/ no such file or directory.
Wait. Say that one more time.
It says ln/usr/local/bin/ no such file or directory.
Okay, so you got something typed in wrong.
Okay, I'll try it again.
So hold on. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, he's gonna send me the message.
Yeah, that's what. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's see if I do this. Because the only thing I thought that might have been wrong is I never remember if multi markdown has a hyphen.
I didn't even think about that.
So I'm gonna type this, which multi markdown. Okay. And also that just gave me the path, which is super cool. Hold on. All right. Select.
Yep, it gave me the same path you gave me.
Oh, okay. So if you copy that, but I'm going to type this command in and send it to you. Drafts.
So while he's doing that, the other thing that happened for me this week is longtime listeners might know that I have toyed with the idea, but never actually pulled the trigger on getting a decent speaker for convention. So Sweetwater got some money from me last week, and a speaker and a speaker stand showed up, and I think I want to get another speaker and maybe a sub that can get
real-time follow-up. So I just texted you the command, but also you probably got to use sudo.
Oh, didn't even think about that.
I didn't either until I actually wrote it all the way out because I didn't write it all the way out when I was telling you the first time. And when I got to the end, I was like, oh crap, I need to sudo that because that usr/local/bin is a system folder and it's not going to like me trying to screw with it.
Yep. So we will give that a try. But anyway, so now I think I'm going to want to get a sub and a second speaker.
Oh, see, this is how it starts.
I've been playing with. All right.
Wait, so you actually bought just one speaker?
Yeah.
Man, you got more self-control than I do.
Man, I saw the price.
More self-control than I do because I would have had to get two.
Man, the price though. The price made me hurt. Like, with the stand and the speaker, it was like $570.
So you got oh crap, I can't remember the name. I bet you bought, was it the Yamahas?
Yeah. The D something
5-inch
12
ones.
The what?
Is it the 5-inch speaker?
Oh, this beast is more than 5 inches.
Oh, okay. No, that's a different model too, though, because I know it wasn't a 12 when I was.
Yeah,
there. So
this one though,
you got a big one.
This one, though,
It's like the HS.
doesn't
No, the one I
require
was
an
looking
amp.
at was the HS. Ah, okay.
See, because that's where I started doing some research, because there was some significantly cheaper ones, but then those were non-powered speakers, so they required an amp. And I'm like, well, that's just yet another thing to get in the way of me trying to get stuff working. I want to find something that doesn't require an amp, and that's when I found this beast. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of low end, which I kind of knew that going into it, but now I kind of want one with low end because I'm like, oh, I could do dances now or something. But you turned it on and it's got a fan on the back of it. There's a mic or line level toggle that you can switch it between. And then there is 3 different equalizations, but they're not the standard EQs that you and I are used to with knobs. It's just switches that have 3 different positions, and you can set those on the back of the speaker. It's all tactile, easy to feel. There's also a out from the speaker, and I asked Perplexity yesterday, I'm like, why would I want an out from my speaker? And it's like, oh, so you can run a daisy chain and have another speaker connected to your speakers, and you don't have to go out of the mixing board to connect another speaker, and it'll send the same exact signal that your speaker that it's sending out has. I'm like, oh, okay, that could be helpful. So it has a XLR out, 2 XLR ins. I'm still a little confused on why I need 2, because it is a mono speaker, but and does have 2 XLR ins, and then it does have the RCA in, which I forgot that was a thing.
So the DHR12.
Yes. Yep. That'd be it. And it weighs 30 pounds. And I took a picture of it yesterday because Mallory's out of town, and I'm like, this is bigger than I thought it was. And she's like, that is a big speaker. I'm like, well, it is also sitting on the stand that's like 4 feet high. So, well, actually it's probably closer to 5 feet. So the speaker's taller than I am right now. I think the top part is just over 6 feet. So that's my thing. And now I can, playing with it, setting it up. Shure Beta 87A is not the best microphone in an environment that you don't want feedback, even though it has good off-axis rejection. The Shure Beta 87A picks up the sound. I think this is how it works, because this is kind of what I've observed. It picks up the sound that reflects off the wall behind me, and then that causes interference, because the speaker, when it plays audio, even with the speaker facing away from me and the back of it is facing me, it's about 10 feet away from me. It will give you feedback at any significant volume. However, I pulled and I'm not going to use this, but I'm going to experiment with some other options. I pulled, because again, Perplexity told me this, the Q2U microphone, because it's a dynamic mic, out of the drawer, because I forgot that I had it, and I plugged that into the board, and that did great at semi-louder volume, although the mic sounds like crap. And I think it's because it's broken. Like, I don't think it's that mic. I think it's just that mic is 10 years old now and has gone through some challenges in its life. So, yeah. But just for your reference.
12-inch. Okay. That's why it's so big. Yeah, that's huge, dude.
It's 1,000 watts.
Why does Google want to find devices on my local network?
Because Google wants to know everything about you.
Go away.
So tell the listeners about this snitch tool.
I'm gonna send I'll tell people about Little Snitch. I don't actually use Little Snitch, but I'll tell people about it here in a second. But first, I'm gonna send out a I don't know. I should come up with a thing for this thing. Not a complaint, maybe a request or suggestion for developers on iOS and macOS, which also includes iPad OS, et cetera, so on and so forth. Apple developers, if your app, and like I get that Apple may not allow you to do this, so I completely understand if it's an Apple thing. So I'm just putting this out in the universe, and maybe somebody will make something happen. If your app is requesting local network access, there needs to be a means for you to explain to me why your app needs it, because 98% of the apps that have requested it on the Mac for me, and I would say probably about 85% of the ones that have requested it on the iPhone, I don't understand why you need it. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying there's not a benefit there, but I don't understand why you need it. Zoom, for example, there's no reason you need to scan my network. I'm not doing anything that requires you to scan my network.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you person that says, oh, but what if you want to project to an Apple TV? I'm not doing that, though.
I don't.
Right? So go away. Why not try to maybe ask for the permission when I'm doing something that actually requires you to need to connect to the network? Like that might be a thing. Let's try that maybe. It's like when I, installed Transmit and I wanted to try to connect to my Mac Mini so I could move some files, and it was like, Transmit would like to scan devices on your network. That makes sense. Probably didn't really need it. I actually don't think I gave it to her. I was just typing it address directly and was like, here, there it is. You don't really need to scan anything. Stop scanning my network, basically is what I'm saying. Or give me a good damn reason why you need to do it. Little Snitch will tell you when people are trying to scan your at least it will tell you when people are trying to connect. It will actually tell you when things are trying to connect to your Mac, but also when applications that you haven't given permission are trying to connect to the internet out or connect to devices outside of your Mac. So, example, let's say you download this app.
Well, Audio Hijack. When
Audio
I license
Hijack.
it.
Yeah, let's say Audio Hijack, right? Like that's actually the example I was about to use itself, not the licensing thing, but that makes sense, right? You download Audio Hijack and you have not gone into Little Snitch, and basically it's a firewall. You haven't gone into Little Snitch and said it's okay for Audio Hijack to connect to the network. So Audio Hijack tries to go out and verify your license by connecting to its licensing server to see if this license matches. Little Snitch will jump in and be like, hey, just so you know, Audio Hijack's trying to do this thing. You want to let it connect to the internet? And you're like, yeah, I kind of need you to do that. But where that's handy is if there's an app in the background or some process that has gotten installed on your computer, or even an app that you deliberately installed that shouldn't be trying to make internet connections. It's trying to make connections. Now, I haven't used Little Snitch in a very long time because I use a free app that is called Block.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that. Okay. Yeah, because Little Snitch wants me to buy something. It keeps telling me it's running in demo, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure that you've shown me your value yet.
So Little Snitch. So there's two reasons I don't use Little Snitch, and I actually did not have an app for this for a while because years ago, Little Snitch, that initial screen that popped up was super difficult to deal with. Now I understand you probably just, it could still be that way and you just VOCR'd it. But we didn't have that 10 years ago. So that's one thing. I had to actually get help to get past the initial launch screen. I don't remember. I think beyond that, the accessibility was kind of decent. It was super annoying for one thing. And yeah, it did cost not an insignificant amount of money.
Block is what you're using?
Yeah, Block is free. I will find you the website. Actually, I can tell you what it is. It is Objective. Yeah, you actually can.
Okay. Then I might switch.
More
discussion in a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, Block is completely accessible out of the box. I don't even think I encountered any unlabeled buttons or anything. One thing I liked about Block when I first set it up is that it gives you kind of like a pre-built list of like, hey, would you like to allow all of these applications? Or when you're first installing it, especially the first time you run it and you're setting up your Mac like you haven't even opened every single app. But pretty much everything you've opened at this point is stuff you need, and you know if it needs to or not need to connect to the internet. It'll say, would you like to, go ahead and authorize like all of the Apple apps that we know about and Apple services and the third-party apps that you currently have installed, right? And you say, yeah, because you don't have everything. You ain't started experiment with weird GitHub projects that you installed now. Like you just got your basic stuff on here. So that takes out a lot of the irritation of like, oh, I'm just trying to license loopback. Do you want to allow loopback to connect to the internet? Yes. The other thing I like about block, and I'm not saying Little Snitch doesn't have this feature because I'm pretty sure it does, is let's say I have an app that wants to connect to a website. Number one, I can see where it's trying to connect to, which is helpful. Pretty sure Little Snitch does that. But two, I can temporarily give an app access. So I can say you can access it this time, but then after that, yeah, I don't want you constantly, phoning home in the background. I need you to go out this time because I need this update. But after that, yeah, you got to ask again. Also, it's free. And what really kind of drew me to it is the guy who developed it, one, used to work for the NSA. I used to be a Microsoft developer. And when he retired from the NSA and he started using the Mac, the first thing he said he noticed is that, and I think Leo interviewed this guy. He said the first thing he noticed is that like all of these great network tools and firewall tools and intrusion tools that, were available on Windows, there was none of this on the Mac. So he just started, he learned how to write Mac apps and then he started writing them. So that's how I got onto block.
So, how do you uninstall an app with Homebrew? Is it just brew remove?
Brew uninstall or brew remove app name.
Perfect.
And then I generally will run, especially if it's one of those sorts of apps, kind of if you're about to uninstall Little Snitch, like I would run, once it's done, run brew cleanup space -s. And cleanup does not have a hyphen in it.
Okay.
Cleanup space -s. And what that does is it removes all your any of the older downloads that are cached. So it's a good command to run every now and then anyway. Not like every week or something, but say when you think about it, do it. But also it will try to scrub all of the files that were potentially left behind by the application that you just removed in case their removal process isn't as nice as it should be. Also, when you set up Hazel, turn on App Sweep.
Yes.
Can't believe I forgot about Hazel. And Hazel is running right now, but I wasn't at the Mac either. And so I didn't think about Hazel. I was like, you got to have Visual Studio Code. That's the thing.
Yeah. Cause I just randomly texted Damashe a list of, the brew command that I was working on. And I think I asked, what am I missing or something? And,
I missed one password too, by the way, but then you're like, oh no, I need one password and something parallels.
Yep. So,
all right. Let's see. Oh, I was looking at this speaker.
Are you going to buy one?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't have as much restraint as you do, so there's no way I would just buy one.
I learned that and you may have already known this, I've learned more. What did we do before AI? Because I had a great conversation with Perplexity yesterday, and I learned more about the audio flow and how I should set it up. Because I asked Perplexity, I said, hey, Perplexity, appreciate everything you're doing for me. By the way, you can interrupt it on Pro now, too. I don't know how long you've been able to do that. But I'm like, so I'm interested in buying a sub. How would I hook that up to the mixer that I have? And it said, send audio from your main out to the sub, and then get XLR cables to go from the sub to the speaker. And I said, well, wouldn't it make sense for me to send the audio from the mixer to the speaker and then use the XLR out of the speaker to go into the sub? And it said, you could do that, but if you want to be most efficient with your audio, run it to the sub first, because most subs will separate the low frequencies and push those out of the sub and then send the rest of the signal to the remaining speakers. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep you around, I think, for a little bit.
I get spanked by the AI. Yeah, you ain't outsmart me, buddy. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. That's a great idea. Like, no. Yeah, you could do that, but here's why you should do what I told you to do.
Yes. So.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about that. So Perplexity, Did you go in for pro, or are you just using their kind of free pro searches they give you?
Now, remember, Zoom gave me pro last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
so I'm not paying for it. I don't know when that expires, probably in like a week or two now that I'm actually using it.
Probably.
But, yeah. No, I think it's actually October, November, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Perplexity is one I've thought about going back to. Is one of those subscriptions that I canceled. But it does have its particular uses, I think. And that's one of those. Is like it has always to me been better on the fact checking stuff. Now, GPT is great, especially if you do deep research. But you can't deep research everything that you ask it. And it will flat out give you some wrong information.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Like I'm probably at some point just gonna have to give up GPT, and probably not permanently, huh?
Give up GPT?
I mean, look, man, I got to start writing some code, dude, and I need Claude. I feel like Claude is just, everybody's saying Claude is better at code than GPT.
VS Code, man. Just get GitHub Copilot.
Oh, actually, I already have GitHub Copilot. Don't tell anybody I'm paying for that too. Yeah. So moving on to what'd you say?
No. Add on. Did you know GitHub Copilot now is limiting the amount of code completions it can do?
Yeah, I saw some goofy stuff about that at some point when they also changed the plan, because I used to be, and I think they may have taken this away now, but I used to be a Git. So the reason I had Copilot actually is because I've been a GitHub Pro subscriber for years now. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long. And somehow I got Copilot kind of bundled in when they first were rolling it out because they wanted everybody to use it. And I was already paying them money. They're like, oh, you're paying us already. Here's this. Recently, what I think they have done is taken away GitHub Pro. Like that's no longer a tier that you can pay for. Now you pay for GitHub Pilot licenses or tiers. I may have not read that all correctly at one point, and I haven't followed up on it because I still kind of struggle with VS Code, honestly. And the reason I was a GitHub Pro subscriber is because that's the only way, unless you were a part of a nonprofit organization or you were a part of an organization that was paying for GitHub or GitHub Enterprise, to have private repositories. Now, granted, this was probably like probably not 10 years ago. I don't think I was using GitHub 10 years ago, but that's what took me down that path, is the ability to have private repositories, because I didn't want everything that I was practicing on and poking at and looking stupid trying to fix to be public to people. Just in case, I didn't want any drive-by, pull requests like, hey man, let me help you out with that newbie. You're like, nah, I think I'm good. So that's why I started paying for it. It allowed me to share repos with people, without that necessarily being public or, etc. So I don't actually know what I'm paying for at this point, but I should probably figure that out just to figure out if I'm going to actually keep paying for it and not pay for it. Claude is tough because their web app was always bad and it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Perplexity is super handy for research. I hadn't looked at their web interface in a while. I think the last few times I used it before I canceled it was on the iPhone. Just side note, I did not realize you could make GPT your default assistant on Android.
Oh, I had not known that either. I mean, I'm not surprised when you say it, because you can make Alexa your default assistant. So the fact that you can do GPT, does that drop you right into voice mode?
I don't know, because I didn't turn it on yet.
Oh, okay. Are you trying to give Gemini?
Just trying to give Gemini a shot, but I kind of don't like the way it works, like with voice mode, because it basically opens up a Gemini chat window over the top of whatever you're doing. Yep. And it's intelligence wise, I can see, and that may be the wrong way to phrase that. Capability wise and access and stored knowledge size, its access to data is probably much greater than that of the original Google Assistant voice on Android. However, functionally, it is absolutely terrible. I don't like you taking over my whole window. And then when I'm trying to figure out, okay, what did you do or what did you send me? Or I said, call this person. Also, that's annoying when I say call this person. And you're like, I don't see this person in your contacts. And then I go look in the phone and like, there's the person name and I just tap on it. And it's like, I don't understand how you didn't find it when they're clearly in my call history right there. So they obviously have to be in my contacts. That sort of stuff. So I will probably try, GPT at some point as the default, voice assistant just to see what does it do? Like, does it just drop me in voice mode or does it do the same goofiness that, Gemini's doing? Like you, I do have Gemini free for probably up in, I think through December of this year. Which is amazing because all I did was get a Pixel and sign into it. And I got my Google One subscription all of a sudden was free. And then it also gave me Gemini Plus because I was like, yeah, sure. I'll take that as an add-on before I got the Pixel. And it was free. So now everything is free, up until the end of the year. And unfortunately, I have to keep paying for it because that is the way that me, mother, and my sister and my niece back up their Androids. Otherwise, they ain't got enough storage because my sister just told me. She was like, oh, yeah, I was just paying for I paid for some upgraded storage. And I told her I wasn't paying for it anymore. And I was like, well, what are you paying? I paid the $2. I've been giving them their $2. Oh, man, no, there ain't enough storage, man. This kid taking photos and videos. Like, that is not enough storage. I think it's like 100 gigs. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Adds up real fast.
Really, really fast. Really, really, especially with these cameras nowadays. You know, she's shooting video, so that's even worse than the hundreds of, or probably 1,200 screenshots I got on my phone. Some of which are accidental. Wait, no, the better way to say that, some of which were on purpose.
So that's all I got this week.
So just to review though, you have been, sounds like, getting very cozy with Perplexity.
Yes.
You've completely abandoned, GPT. It's a pile of crap. I understand.
Nope. I gave GPT access to my Gmail.
Wait, you don't even have a gmail.com.
I have a workspace account.
Yeah, but no. Mike, no.
And I gave it access to my Google Drive, and I did discover, though, that you can give it access to all of those services. It'll connect to HubSpot, Drive, and there's
I think all the cloud storages except for iCloud, of course, because, they're Apple and they yeah. So yeah, I think you can do Dropbox, OneDrive if you actually use OneDrive for anything serious other than like, oh, this is some extra storage space I can use to back up a computer to. All
Thank you, Arc.
Great. Let's throw this Arc on here. Now, man, you're doing exactly where I was going.
Yep. That's what my OneDrive gets used for.
Throw this Arc on here and back up these files. Yes, sir. Google Drive, OneDrive. I want to say the guy said Box, but I don't know anybody that uses Box. And I think that might, those are the major cloud providers at this point. Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, Box for enterprise. I don't think anybody uses Box personally. Hey, send us an email at feedback@technicallyworking.show if you use Box.com. Not Dropbox, just Box. Why did they name it that way? Because it was like 2008, 2009, and everybody was doing what everybody else was doing. So, Google didn't Google Drive used to be called something different before it was Google Drive?
It was backup and restore, wasn't it?
No, that was the app.
Uh-huh.
No, it was Microsoft. They used to be called SkyDrive, and then they changed their name to OneDrive.
Huh.
Which wasn't confusing at all for Google Drive, which was installed on your computer. Because if you had an enterprise, if you had a Google Apps account, you always had the Google Drive app. Like I never had the backup and restore or whatever app it was. That was for the free Google users, at least by the time I started using it. So not confusing at all to be on a Windows computer and have Drive. And then a minute later, OneDrive. I'm like, okay, well, which one of you is the right drive? Yeah, this ain't confusing at all. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jerks. Yeah, good deal with Perplexity. I have not, I think I canceled Perplexity before they did the voice mode, so may be able to use it in the free mode for a quick second, see what I think about it. Did I tell everybody? No, I did not tell everybody I'm not on the Pixel anymore. Or did I? I don't remember.
I don't remember if you mentioned.
I really should start listening to my show so I know what I talked about.
Yeah. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, Damashe, remind me that I have an idea for something to talk about on the show. And it'll give us content. And I said something else too. And
chapters, something about chapters. Yeah.
Nope. Had nothing to do with chapters.
Oh, well, chapters came up and then you said, oh, remind me to tell you about this idea I had because it'll be more content.
Yep.
So my idea connected chapters to that because of how the conversation went. But chapters had nothing to do with this. All right. So no chapters.
Not at all.
You're not getting any chapters.
Yeah. Wasn't it Tim that said he didn't want chapters? So you're welcome, Tim. Or whoever it was.
Shout out to Tim.
I think. No, my thought was we've got 116 episodes now. This is 116, I believe, right? You keep track. I don't. Anyways, we've got.
See, I look before I say anything most times. I'm good at remembering what episode we said something on or getting within 2 or 3 of the episode. Hold on, I'll go take a look.
Yeah, on both shows, really. I mean, we're on 116 because we just published 115.
Okay.
So we've got 116 episodes.
That show. I wonder where that goes.
What? My thought was maybe we should take an episode or go back and listen to old episodes and then come back and say, hey, we talked about this on episode 1 or episode 14. And here's where we are in relation to what we talked about back then. Because that's what, 3 years now? 2.5 years?
So did you say listen to the episode?
Yeah. Yeah. Because,
I'll probably run it through ChatGPT or something, but sure, man, that sounds like a great idea. Actually, we are supposed to do such things like that, and we just don't make notes of what we actually said we were going to do most of the time. So that is a good way to do that. So I will actually listen to the episode because it's important to hear how I rambled out whatever it was I said I was going to do. So nobody has technically works.show.
You don't need it.
Yeah, I know. It's just I typed it in by mistake and I was like, oh, I wonder if it actually goes anywhere. Yeah, I don't think I want technically works as a domain.
No.
Anyway.
No.
Although I would have taken technically .works I would have taken as our domain.
Did someone do it?
I think somebody had it. Because it's too obvious of a gag name. Like somebody had it. And then I also tried to get, because there's an ing extension now.
Really?
Yeah. So you know where I went with that.
Yeah. So technically work is taken and that is a domain. We should reach out to this Mason guy. Hi, I'm Mason. I coach unconventional humans with big hearts who are tired of fitting into a box and yearn to create more joy and freedom in their lives. I spent the first 13 years of my career trying desperately to fit into a box. It worked for a while until it didn't.
Listen, man, I feel you, Mason. Exactly how it can be. It's tough out here sometimes.
My coaching session with Mason left me feeling uplifted, energized, inspired, and more. He listened to not only what I said, but the deeper meaning in my words and my body language. He helped me to recognize my limiting thoughts and tools to enrich my growth. He definitely enjoys helping people, and his caring and helpful approach is whatever. And then it answers, ends with, what are you waiting for? Melissa Jane Rodriguez, actress. I was lucky to meet me. What does this guy do?
It sounds like he just people. Hold on now.
Yeah, your internet's cutting out again. While he waits for his internet to come back, I'm going to read Mason's webpage. Oh. I think you're back.
Okay, I should be back.
You are.
All right. So there's a device I bought that I'm going to deploy, not in the way that I wanted to deploy it, but just because I hadn't gotten around to moving my network room. So, because I haven't put an air conditioner out here in the office yet, because the one I bought got recalled, which is awesome. Yeah. Now I just got to open the box to get the serial number so I can get my money back and then figure out, oh, what am I going to buy now? So if you wanted to, help support me not dying of,
Heat stroke?
yeah, heat stroke out here in the office to record the show, you should go to, technicallyworking.show and become a tip jar supporter.
Don't go to technically.work.
No, don't go there. I mean, unless you need that guy's services.
Yeah.
But no, go to technicallyworking.show first and become a tip jar subscriber, and help finance my mini split. All right. We greatly appreciate it. You can help the show continue. Cause I won't be dehydrated or passed out here. And Mike's like, well, your internet looks like it's stable. I'm like, I can't breathe. But seriously though, no, it is, it's a little hot out here. Just saying. But yeah, they did recall the air conditioner, so I do gotta find something different. But going back to the thing that I bought. So I picked up from Ubiquiti because I had different plans for this, but I can temporarily use it for this purpose. It is the Ubiquiti Device Bridge. I had to think of what it was called. The Device Bridge. There's also a Device Bridge Pro. I don't think most people, if you are in the Ubiquiti ecosystem, you probably could make this work without being in Ubiquiti, but you have to ask Doug. You don't need the Pro. Most people, if you need the Pro, you know you need the Pro, and all you got to do is look at the specs of the Pro. Like, just look at the quick summary of what it does, and it's like, oh, this helps connect to stuff up to 5 kilometers away or some crap. I'm like, yeah, so I don't even know. That's a little much. But the Device Bridge, what it is so if you have ever bought one of Ubiquiti's wireless access points, like their standalone access points that you have to connect back to a device that are power over Ethernet power, they do have PO injectors. This thing kind of looks like a PO injector, except instead of having 2 ports on, just one Ethernet port, and there is a Wi-Fi antenna. You plug it in, and you adopt it into your unified network, and then you plug something that needs Ethernet into it, and it's kind of doing like the whole mesh thing over wireless. So, I'm going to put one out here in the office and see if that doesn't help improve the internet, connectivity as much as anything can help Spectrum. So, there's also that part.
You could bury Ethernet cable.
This fiber. I mean, I could run a cable from where the router is now out here, which is what I initially intended on doing until I decided it makes more sense to just put all the network stuff out here. And then run stuff, run a couple of cables, couple of long runs to where I need them in the house versus running a bunch of long runs out here. So yeah. Also, I really didn't want to run the cable.
Yeah, I got you.
Not this way, because the way I would have to go is really weird from where it's sitting at. And I started planning for fiber, so I was like, oh, well, I can have them put the fiber wherever I want it because it'll be new. You can put it out here in the office.
And maybe
you could
even get them to run the cable back into your house for you so you could have it in both places.
I don't think I need it in the house. I just need it out here. And also need them to let me connect the fiber directly to the SFP Plus port on my Ubiquiti router instead of having to use their stupid box.
Yeah.
Because that would change my life significantly.
So I realize I'm not running a backup recording because,
that's kind of terrible.
Are you?
I think, if you hadn't have asked me, like if I had to stop to think before I was about to say, man, Mike.
I mean, you were broadcasting, so you should be, right?
I should be.
Yes. But didn't we discover something wrong with that session and it wasn't capturing my audio or something?
No,
or did you fix that?
I fixed that. I just didn't have the block on. Let me see if I'm actually recording, though. Yes, I am recording.
Okay. I don't think we'll need it, but...
I think the stream broke.
Oh, I was going to go check that. I'll go check real quick.
Okay, there's your audio block. Let's see. Yeah, your block is on. So
yes, we are offline.
And I can probably fix that. Live stream.
To find out when we're live, become a tip jar supporter.
Turn on the block.
Huh.
And now we should be back live.
Last live 39 minutes ago. Let's reload the page. Oh, we're live.
Yep, just had to toggle the block.
Hey, that's cool. There's a skip to player link at the top, and it jumps right to the play button.
Oh, okay. It didn't work when I tried to click it. Wait, are you in Chrome?
No, I'm in Safari.
Huh, it didn't work when I tried it.
So if I go to the top, I have skip to player, skip to page content, skip to footer. When I hit skip to player, it jumps me to where when I press VO right arrow, it says play video, and I hit VO space on that.
Yeah, well, super cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they fixed something.
Maybe. Or maybe you fixed it inadvertently, didn't know you did.
Could be stripping out all that random unnecessary code they had in the page. Somebody else.
So, tip jar subscribers will probably get this episode earlier than they normally have gotten it because we're actually recording on a Saturday. And I will probably edit tonight too because I'm going to edit on the speaker, which would be weird. Actually, I probably won't because, well, I might. My neighbor works at night. I've learned that. So I can do that. I don't know. We'll see.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. It'd be like editing in a studio again.
Yeah. But so without the sound dampening.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, Damashe. My headphones are going out.
We would like to thank everybody for listening. This has been Technically Working episode 116. Big thanks to our tip jar subscribers, as well as everyone else who listens. And I really struggle trying to close this out like that because, like, so special thanks to our tip jar subscribers, but we appreciate everybody who listens, which is all true. But I just thank the tip jar subscribers just a little bit with a little bit extra. It's kind of like if you give somebody a hug and like there's the hug, oh, we're glad you're here. And there's like the squeeze and you pick them up. Like the squeeze and the pick them up is for the tip jar subscribers because they're spending money. And listen, man, eggs. That's all I'm going to say. It's one word. Eggs.
69 cents an egg is what we paid when we bought eggs on Thursday. That's ridiculous.
That is, so as I said, thanks to the tip jar subscribers. We appreciate everybody else who listens too. And you can help us out by sharing the show. So go to YouTube and grab a clip of the show or just share a link to the channel or post about it on Mastodon or, Threads if you are on Threads. Blue Sky, if you happen to be there. No, the show is not on Blue Sky. I may get around to doing that at some point in the future.
No
but
promises.
Probably not anytime soon. I'm not promising anything. I said May. I'm not promising anything. We still got a podcast site to build. So, and I'm not even on Blue Sky. I mean, I am, but
you are, but you're not.
Yeah. But that's kind of me in social media anyway. Speaking of which, you can follow him on Mastodon. He's Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. I am Damashe, Damashe, at technically.social. And the technically working bot is at TW at technically.social. And you really want to follow this bot. And, you know, listen, like I'm 40 some years old. I don't remember exactly how old at the moment. I'm not trying to obfuscate anything. It's just been, it's been strange. But listen, I'm 40 some years old. I don't look at my follower counts on social media like, oh, I have, 47 followers or I have 400,000 followers. Like, I don't care. I appreciate everybody that follows me, but I also know most of the people that follow me.
Yeah.
But you really want to follow this bot is what I'm trying to tell you, because that's where the news comes from. It posts when the show goes live. It shares links that people were probably looking for, because we talked about a product. It occasionally reposts Mike because it follows Mike. Look, the bot don't even follow me is what I'm trying to tell you.
So you want to follow the bot because it doesn't follow Damashe.
You definitely want to follow the bot. That's where the happenings are going to be. You can also send us email feedback at technicallyworking.show.
Damn it. That's,
Yep, we were going to do a feedback show and then we forgot about it, but that's what we're going to do about the thing with the thing that we're doing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
sense.
Feedback episode is definitely coming. Can't tell you exactly when it's going to drop, but I can tell you we're probably going to record it tomorrow. Just in case you're interested. So There's that. And oh yeah, on social media, on Mastodon specifically, you can use the hashtag technically working. Listen, you're perfectly welcome to use hashtag technically working on any other social media platform you want to. Uh, just currently at the moment, I don't have the means to follow that anywhere else and pull that in. We may do that if turns out people are doing things.
Well, we may do that also if this freaking app gets its insert favorite explicit together to make it more accessible, because we got on the app, we just can't use it.
Yeah. So anyway, good luck. I'll tell you. Do you remember when Flipboard came out? Is all I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Hey, remember how long before you could use Flipboard?
Nope, I don't ever remember being able to use Flipboard. So
yeah, so there was a brief period in time where you could use Flipboard, and by the time you could, nobody cared anymore. Anyway,
maybe I should reach out to Leo on Discord and be like, "Hey, so here's the deal, man. They say they care.
Look, hey, that's actually not a bad idea because you're more of a person to do that. Because I would probably just say it very abruptly and then leave and not even see people's replies because I don't have Discord installed. That was not in my brew installed. I'm just telling you. But yeah, that might be a way to go because there's some other blind people in the Discord also. So that's a thing, man. Get the word out.
Anyways, appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks to everybody for listening.
160.
Guys next week.